Hi guys, welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to show you all the basics that you're going to need when you start up first in Blender. So remember, this is a basic tutorial video, and if there's anything you're wondering about, please let me know in the comment section down below. And also, no question is a dumb question. Please remember that. If you really want to need to know something, let me know and I will come back to you. Let's dive into this video. So first of all, when you open up Blender, you will have this image here that shows that it's currently Blender version 5.2.0, but that's standard. Every time you're going to open Blender, this thing will show. So just click anywhere on the scene and it will disappear. So currently you have your 3D scene here. This is your 3D scene. Everything that you work on will display in your 3D scene, your 3D world space. For example, in this current 3D scene that we have here, this is the general basic 3D viewport. You will have this view every time you open up Blender. You will have your camera, you have your cube, and you have your light. Also in the outliner, here on the right hand side, you will see your camera, your cube, and your light. This outliner is just showing you everything that you have currently in your 3D world space. You can click here on each one of them, or if you want to go to your cube, let's say this cube, you can click on this one and you have your cube here, your camera and your light. Then you have your properties menu here, but this menu can also get quite deep, but we will cover them as we go. Just the basics. We're not going to go through everything, it's just a property menu, the location, the rotation, but like I said, we will go over them as we go there. Then we have on top here all these things, but don't worry about them. And then we also have our toolbar here, but we'll also go over them as we go there. When we want to move around our 3D scene, you want to move around that it feels like a 3D scene because you are working in 3D world space. You can click your middle mouse button and drag around. Then you will move all around around this cube. For example, at the moment it's going all around the cube because it's the center of the camera or the viewport. So you can move around like this when you just press the middle mouse button and move your mouse around. When you press Shift and your middle mouse button, you move to the left, to the right, up, down. You can move around like this. So middle mouse button, you rotate all around your scene where you are focused on, and then when you click Shift, middle mouse button, you move around like this. When you press Control middle mouse button, you zoom in and out. So Shift middle mouse button, you move around like this. Control middle mouse button is your zoom in and out. You can also zoom in and out with your middle mouse scroll wheel, and you scroll up and down, and then you can also move or rotate around when you just press the middle mouse button. I just want to show you, if you're, for example, you move around, you play around, and you are here now and you want to go back to your scene there, to the cube there at the moment, you can also press here on your cube. You want to focus on your cube again. You've got your full stop mark on your numpad. When you press that, you will go back. As you can see, I pressed the full stop mark. You will go back, you will focus on your cube again. When you want to focus on your camera, press on your camera, press the full stop again. Oh, your mouse must just be there, sorry. When you press on camera, your mouse here on this 3D scene, when you press it, you will focus on your camera. The same for the light. Mouse here, press your full stop, and you will focus on your light. Focus on your cube. So just play around, move a little bit around, play around, and get easy with the move around in your scene. Let's say, for example, next up we want to move the cube around. On the left hand side you have these tools here. This one that has these arrows here, this is your move tool. When you click on the move tool, you've got your X-axis your y-axis is the green one, the red one is the x-axis, and then your blue one, there's no blue one, but up and down is your z-axis. That's your blue line normally. You can also see here that you have your z, your y, and your x. So remember, the red one, this one here, is the x-axis, the green one is the y-axis, and the blue one is the z-axis. So if you press on this, if you click on the blue one, you move it up and down, and you press on the click on the red one, you can move it on the x-axis to the right and left, and also to the left and right on the y-axis. Let's say, for example, you want to only move it on the y and the z-axis. You press on the red one, then you will only move it on the blue and the green, the z and the y-axis. The same for the green one here, it's here, so you're going to move it on the z and the y, the z and the x-axis. And the same when you want to move it only on the x and the y-axis, then you move it like this. Another thing that you can do is a shortcut. If you don't want to move it like this, you are here in the selection mode, you have it like this, you have to remember you can click there to move it around, but you just don't want to move it like that. There is a shortcut to press G, and then you can move it around. But remember, when you move it around, you're going to move it around on the way you're facing the cube. So you, for example, you can't move it now. If you move it up, you'll see actually you move it as you face the cube. So let's say you want to move it only on the y-axis. You press G to move it around, and then you lock it on the y. So you press G for move and Y to lock it on the y-axis. Then you can move it around on the y-axis. If you want to move it up and down on the z-axis, again you press G, Z for the z-axis, and you move it up and down. Okay, and the full stop to focus on your cube again. So let's move it a little bit out on the y for here. Let's say we want to rotate the axis. We can go here again, just at the bottom, just below the move button, we've got the rotate button. Now the gimbal is looking a little bit different, but we can move it on the y, on the x, and the z. Okay, and the same again. Let's say, for example, you want to add another cube to the scene. You press Shift A to open up this menu here. Don't worry about all these things. You've got a lot of things here, but don't worry about them. For now, we just want to go to Mesh, and then we want to add another cube. You can all add a cone, a cylinder, an isosphere, a UV sphere, but for now, we just want to add a cube. We want to move it a little bit closer. I want to move it a little bit closer, so just press G. On the Y, I want to move it on the Y closer to this one, but I want to rotate it. So let's say, for example, we are on the select box again, so we don't see nothing. Well, let's make it easier. Just go on the rotate. I want to move it up a little bit, G and Z to move it on the Z, G and Y. I just want to move it a little bit to the side. I just want to show you something. If you want to rotate this one, you want to rotate it on the y-axis. You press R on your keyboard and Y to lock it on the y-axis. Now you rotate it on the y-axis. And that will be the same as when you rotate it on the y-axis. You see, it's different. It looks different, but you rotate it only on the y-axis. If you want to rotate it back, just want to rotate it back again on this one, and then the green one to move it back. It's kind of the same. It's not exactly, but it's sort of the same. So let's say, so yeah, that's the rotation button. Let's say, for example, we want to add, so Shift A to add a UV sphere. I just want to add a UV sphere. Just to go to the next point. We're going to move this a little bit up. Let's move. So the thing is you just have to play a little bit around. Move Y, just to play a little bit around. And then you can just go to the selection box again up here, because the next step is we want to see how these shapes can be manipulated at the other way. Now a cube, if we select this cube, you can go up here, you've got the object mode. At the moment you're in object mode. You can go also in edit mode. Here is the edit mode option. So in this mode you can manipulate how the shape is looking. This is currently a cube, but you want to deform it a little bit. So that you are doing in edit mode. So there's a difference between the object mode and the edit mode. In the edit mode, you have vertices. These points here are called vertices or vertex. And then you have your lines here. This is called the edges. And then you have these faces. Now these are working in 3D world space. You've got your vertex. So one vertex is just one vertex. But if you have two vertex, you've got your edge. So two vertices makes one edge. When you have three vertices, you can start making a face. But in the cube, it's going to be 4 quads. So all 4 these vertices will make one face. So a different way to move them is the same as in the object mode. If you select this vertice and you press G, you can move it around. Let's say, for example, we want to move it on the y-axis a little bit out. We can move it out. Then we have a different shape. Let's move this one also on the y-axis. This one and this one. If you want to select both of them, you just highlight that one and highlight this one, and then you can G on the Z and you will move it up. And the same is for the faces. Now what you can do is if you want to select the face, you can go up here. This one is only selected vertices. This one is select only the face, the edges. And then when this one here, you will only select the faces. You can also, just on top, you can have your 1, your 2, and your 3 to go to the different modes here. So let's say, for example, we want to move our face. We press 3, then we're in face selection mode. We press there and just GZ. So that is how you move things around. Then you can also press tab. You also have your edit mode here and also the object mode here, and you can. So you hold your tab and then you can go to object mode. If you want to edit this one, for example, you can click on the UV sphere, tab, edit mode, or you can go up here, edit mode, and then you are in edit mode. Again, focus on your vertex, your edge, and your face. So hopefully it makes sense. What you also can do is if you press on the face, you can press E on your keyboard to extrude a face. But that, I think we're gonna get in too much detail if we're gonna start with that. So we just wanna go back, object mode, and then we just wanna move it on the y-axis, up here, G, to make something simple. Let's say, for example, I want to select all of these objects. You press shift to click on that one, shift on that one, shift on this one, and then you can just grab on the Y and you move all these objects to the center. So yeah, just play around, move around these basics, and you will get there as you play around. It will get much easier for you as you move around and play around with these things. Let's say, for example, you also have this option. UV sphere normally looks like this, and if you want to make it smooth, that it looks a little bit more attractive, you can press on it, and then you press right, then you have shade smooth. Shade flat, auto smooth, but don't worry about this auto smooth. Just shade it smooth, and then it's a nice round ball. But just remember, I have changed this thing here. This one, I extruded that one, that's why it's looking funny here. So just, if you want to delete the object, you can click on it, X, and just delete. So let's just add another one. UV sphere, grab on the Z, grab on the Y, grab on the Z a little bit. And then if we do the same, right click, shade smooth, now it will be perfectly smooth. So yeah, let's say, for example, we are happy with our 3D scene and we want to render it as an image. You can do it as a video too, but for this example, we're just going to keep it basic. You want to make an image of your 3D scene. We have our camera here. We already have a camera, but let's say, for example, you have deleted your camera and you have deleted your light, and you want to add a new camera to your scene. You can just press Shift A, and down here you will see camera. Camera. Now your camera is going to be there by the cursor, and it's not going to be right because when you press 0 on your numpad, this is your camera viewport. Now if you move around, your camera is still stuck there. You press 0, if you move around, you're out of your camera again. So what you can do is you can move it around. Like if you selected it, you can press G to move it around on the X-axis. That is one way to move it, but when it comes to camera, there's an easier way to move it. When we go to 0 and we're currently in our camera viewport, here on the right hand side we've got these options here. This lock here, you can press on the lock. Now what it does is your viewport and your camera is locked together. So when we move around now with your mouse or your scroll wheel, you will move your camera actually in as you want it. So let's say, for example, we want to look at the view at this way. We want to look at it like this. We are happy with our view like this. If we unlock it again and we move around, we will see our camera is already correct and everything is right. And then when we're happy with that, we want to see how it's going to look. So 0, and that is how the scene is going to look. Maybe we can go a little bit closer, lock again, and maybe go a little bit closer. Like this. If you want to move slower, you have these options on the side where you can move on the Z-axis, the X-axis, and the Y-axis. You can drag it, then you will also move. You can also move your camera like this. If you want to move with more precise, maybe. Yeah, like this. But I'm quite happy with the results, so I'm going to leave it like this, maybe just a little bit back, like this. So unlock, and then we can move around like this. So at the moment we are currently in the shading viewport. Now this is a basic for performance. You want to work in shading viewport because it's easy to work with shading viewport, but you can go to the material preview. This is just a preview. This is what your 3D objects will look like if you render it like this. Let me just show you. If 12, there is no light at the moment, so that's why it's so dark and everything. But we want to add materials to this object. So first of all, let's add a material to this UV sphere here at the moment. We can go up here to shading. If we go to shading, we've got our slot here. We can go to, on the right hand side, materials is down here. We can go there and just add a new material. new material. Then you will see you have this principal BST. Everything is quite good as it is at the moment. This material 1, we can change the color. Let's say we want it red. And we can change up the metallic, like look like the metallic ball, roughness. We can change for more shininess or more of those one, but let's keep it there. Happy with that. So this is how you add material to your 3D object. If we want to go to the cube, we can just select the cube. It's material, just we can change the color here too. Let's say example, we want to keep that one green. And then this one, we want to add a new material and we make this one blue with roughness like that. So that's just the basic that you can do. This can get quite in detail, but like I said, this is just a basic way of adding color to your 3D objects. But still, if we go to F12, there's still, you can see we have colors to our 3D objects, but still the light is bad. So we need more light to our scene. So let's go here on top. We go back to modeling mode or to layout. We can see there, because we're currently in the material preview. Remember that solid, solid shading mode is for performance wise. You don't see material here because it is for performance. It's just to create your main basic shape. If we want to see the materials applied to it, we can go to preview mode, but still we still have a lot of performance here because it's not rendered actually in detail. It's just a preview. It's just to show you in preview mode. Then when we go to the rendering one, this is where you're gonna have some maybe have some performance issues. It depends on how strong your computer is gonna be, but here it's gonna be how it's gonna be look in the rendered on the camera view. We can go up here on the render view. It's working together. Currently at Eevee, we can go to cycles for more detail. You can see that it's kind of getting slower now. So let's just go for now back to Eevee mode. Okay, so now we can see that we don't have light currently in our scene. So to add light, Shift A, we can add, if we go down here, we see the light. We can add a point light, sign light, spotlight, and area light. Most of the people using the area light, it's quite easy to use. Move it back, move it up, and then you can just rotate it to focus on your scene there. And then when you are click on one of these things, you see on your property menu there is no light. Just make sure that you have clicked on your light source. Here's your light source, and then from here you can increase the strength or the power of your light source. Let's say 5000, and there you got it. So if you click on your camera, this is the scene you're gonna have when you're rendering it out. So what you can do next is you can go to the render button, click on cycles. You can lower this sample a little bit to something about, let's say 1000, or let's say 2000. No, 1000. Let's make it 1000. We can put on the denoise, that quite helps a lot. And then when you're happy with your camera viewport, you're happy with your light, because just remember, this is just basic. This is just a basic setup. So if you're happy with everything, you can just press F12 so that your image can render. Just wait a little bit and it can finish up on top here. And when it's finished, then you just can go to image and save your image as a PNG or JPEG or whatever you want on your computer. You can also go here to render. You can also render your image on top here, and it will do exactly the same as the F12 button. Thanks guys for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If there was something that was unclear or didn't make sense, let me know. We'll go into detail. I will come back to you guys. See you in the next video. Enjoy.